Most businesses right now are spending more than ever on ads, content, research, and they're getting fewer qualified leads than they did 2 years ago. And the reason is simple. The way people buy has changed, but the way most companies capture leads hasn't. They're still using static forms. They're still manually qualifying every lead. And they're losing 60, 70, sometimes even 80% of their traffic before it ever turns into a conversation. AI agents have changed everything. At Lambot, we've helped companies cut their cost per lead by 30% and get 50% more marketing qualified leads, all without adding headcount or writing a single line of code. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact 3-stage system for using AI agents to generate, capture, qualify, and convert leads on autopilot. This works whether you're running a SaaS company, an agency, an e-commerce brand, or a local business. My goal is that when you finish watching this video, you can go and set this up for yourself. Okay, so think about what happens right now when someone finds your website. They click an ad, they land on your page, and they see a form. 5, 6, or maybe even 10 fields that they have to fill out. Name, email, company, phone number, budget, timeline, etc. And sometimes this feels too much, and they just leave the page without filling it out. The average form conversion rate across industries is somewhere around 2 to 3%. That means for every 100 people you're paying to get to your site, 97 of them bounce without giving you anything. You might be thinking, okay, what about those 3 out of 100 that actually fill out the form? Well, yes, they convert, but half of them aren't even qualified. And you know what happens then? You've got your sales team spending their time chasing leads that were never going to buy, while the people who actually would have bought got bored or frustrated by your form and left. The reason I'm explaining this is because most companies try to solve this issue by trying to capture more traffic, spend more on ads, or create more content. But this is not really the problem. The problem is conversion and qualification. And to fix that, we have to look at one key thing, the user experience. That's what AI agents were built for. But before I show you how to do this, we need to talk about what AI agents actually are, because it's probably not what you think. When I say AI agents, you probably have something in your mind already. Maybe you're thinking of those chat widgets that started popping up on every website. You ask it a question, it gives you a vaguely helpful answer pulled from the company's frequently asked questions, and then when you say something specific, it just says, I would recommend reaching out to our sales team. That's not what I'm talking about. By now, that's all technology. It can have a basic conversation with you, but as things get complicated, their flaws start to show. The experience of the user is not the best, and also it treats every lead as the same. So in the unlikely event that they choose to talk to sales, your salespeople may be getting a lot of noise and cold leads. And what's worse, since the bot did not collect any info about the leads, sales will not have any background knowledge of each lead. So they can't tailor the conversations to them. And also, the user needs to start over-explaining their needs. On the other end, you've got the old-school decision tree bots. Click option A, click option B. These are structured, yes, but they're also rigid. Again, zero intelligent. The moment someone says something that's not on the script, it breaks. Okay, now scratch all of that and let's think of a new model. This is an AI agent for lead generation that, first of all, is intelligent, and it's trained to reply in a certain way. So it is able to adapt to anything the user needs to say or ask. Second, this intelligence allows the agent not only to solve the user queries, but also to ask subtle questions that will help you qualify the lead. And since we don't want to treat all leads the same way, depending on their replies to the qualifying questions, we route them to the right output. Maybe it's a candidate link to book a sales call, or maybe it's more information to warm them up, or it's a link maybe to try your product. So, for example, if someone lands on your site and says they're running a 200-person company and they're looking to automate their lead qualification, the agent asks follow-up questions about their stack, their timeline, their budget. But if someone says that they're just exploring options for their side project, the conversation goes somewhere different. Same entry point, but the agent knows those are two very different people and handles them accordingly. The result of all this is more leads that get to the finish line and much more insight into what these leads want, what stage of the funnel they're at, and how the sales team can engage with them in conversations using the information that they already shared. And the thing that's made this practical for most businesses is that you don't need engineers to build them anymore. Platforms like Lambot give you a visual builder. You drag and drop the conversation flow, set your qualification criteria, connect it to your CRM, and deploy it across your website, WhatsApp, or whatever your customers are. You can even just ask AI to create the flow for you. It's as easy as it gets. You can have something live in one afternoon. So that's what we're working with. Now, let's build the system. We're going to do it in 3 stages. Stage 1, getting traffic worth capturing. We talked about having traffic but not good conversion. But in case you're not there yet, let's talk about getting people to your site in the first place. Because of course, you can have the best AI agent in the world, but if nobody's showing up, it doesn't matter. So let's talk traffic. The biggest mistake I see businesses make is relying on a single channel. They go all in Google Ads, or they only do organic content, or they're buying lists and sending cold emails. The companies generating most leads in 2026 are running multiple channels at the same time. So let me walk you through what's working right now. First, paid ads. Meta, Google, LinkedIn, still the fastest lever you can pull. You turn it on and traffic shows up. But the thing that's changed in 2026 is where you send that traffic to. I will tell you in just a second how to double or triple your conversion rate from the same spend by sending leads to the right place. Second, content and SEO. YouTube videos, blog posts, social media. This takes longer to build, but it compounds over time. And this traffic is warmer because these people already know you. They already trust you to some extent before they ever land on your site. Third, partnerships and integrations. This is the most underutilized channel I see. Co-marketing with complementary businesses, app marketplace listings, community partnerships. These send you traffic that's already being pre-qualified by someone else's audience, so usually it's worth it. And fourth, outbound, cold email and LinkedIn outreach. But not this pray and pray approach from 5 years ago. In 2026, AI-powered outbound lets you personalize at scale, sending hundreds or thousands of messages that actually feel relevant to the person receiving them. The whole point of stage 1 is to get a steady stream of people showing up. You don't need all 4 channels running on day 1. Pick 1 or 2, get them working, and then layer in more over time. Okay, now you've got all this traffic coming in. The real question is, what happens when they arrive? That's stage 2, and this is where most businesses either win or lose. Stage 2, the AI agent capture and qualification layer. This is the part of the system that makes everything else work. Stage 2 is where your AI agent replaces the static form and turns passive visitors into qualified, scored leads automatically. Remember what I just said about doubling or tripling your conversion rate? This is how you do it. I already hinted at how this works, but let me remind you quickly in case you missed it. Instead of sending your leads to a form when they arrive on your site, you invite them to have a conversation with a smart AI agent. The AI agent greets them, asks them what they're looking for, adapts based on their answers, collects the info naturally through dialogue, scores them against your criteria, and routes them to the right next step. The whole thing takes under 60 seconds. I want to show you how this actually works. I'm going to walk you through a real lead qualification flow inside Lambot's builder. So the first thing you'll notice is that this is a visual builder, so no code. You're literally just dragging and dropping conversation blocks to build the flow. It starts with a conversational greeting. So instead of fill out this form, it's something like, hey, what brings you here today? Already, that's a different experience. You're starting with a dialogue, not demanding information. So then come the qualification questions, and this is where it gets interesting. The agent adapts its follow-up questions based on what the visitor says. So as you can see here, if someone says they're looking for help with lead generation for their agency, the next questions are about number of clients, current tools, and monthly lead volume. Or if they are a startup, then we have here a different set of questions. You can see here the rest of the prompt. And then here on the right, you can see where we store the data. So every answer that the user actually gives to this AI agent is being stored as structured data. So you can see here the fields, monthly leads, current tools, company size, budget range, timeline, for example, everything that the user is actually telling us. And then here you have the outputs. So these are the possibilities to end the conversation. So if all the fields are captured, we have all the information we need, and we have here the first option as qualified. Or for example, if the user refuses qualification, we have another option, or if the fields are captured but the lead is not qualified. Now, your ops team is going to love this part. Every qualified lead flows straight into your CRM. As you can see here, this is HubSpot, but it could be perfectly Salesforce, Pipedrive, or whatever CRM that you're using. So no manual data entry, no CSV uploads, no leads falling through the cracks. These conversation data, the qualification score, absolutely everything lands where your team needs it. So in this case, as I said, it's HubSpot. And one more thing, you build this flow once and you can deploy it everywhere. As you're seeing here, you can hit publish and then you go here to launch, and then we see here all the options we have to deploy this agent. Now the results, because this looks like a nice story and you might think I'm talking nonsense and this is just not working in real life. Lead Laundry, a performance marketing agency in Australia, is one of these examples. They switched from standard web forms to Lambot for their client campaigns. They saw a 35% increase in conversion rates and a 50% improvement in lead quality. Same traffic sources, same ad spend, but way more qualified people coming through the door because the capture experience was better. Another success case, Mein Auto, Germany's biggest online car retailer. 16 million visitors a year, but they had a problem with undecided buyers bouncing from their homepage. They added a conversational AI agent that guides those visitors through car selection and captures their info along the way. 10% lift in leads, and they had the whole thing live in less than 24 hours. And you, a tech company working with retail and food and beverage brands, was struggling with low completion rates on their static forms. They replaced them with conversational flows and saw a 30% drop in cost per lead, a 30% increase in conversions. And they're now generating over 100,000 leads a month. Their profit margin went up by 20%. And this is why I'm calling it unlimited leads. It's not magic, it's math. When you convert significantly more of your existing traffic into qualified leads, every dollar you spend on ads, every piece of content you publish, every partnership you build, it all becomes more effective. You're not spending more, you're just cutting more of what you're actually already paying for. Quick note, if you're watching this and thinking, I want to try this, I'll leave a link in the description where you can build your first AI agent flow for free. It takes about 10 minutes to set up and you can test it on your own site today. But let's get going because the last stage is where the real money gets made. Stage 3, converting qualified leads into clients. So at this stage, you've got traffic coming in and your AI agent is capturing and qualifying those leads automatically. But qualified leads aren't revenue yet. Stage 3 is about turning them into paying clients. In most businesses, there's this gap between marketing and sales. Marketing generates the lead, throws it over the wall, and hopes someone follows up. And lots of leads die in that gap every day. So what you want to do to solve this is make the AI agent not stop at qualification. We want it to keep going. When a lead qualifies, the agent immediately offers available time slots on your rep's calendar. The meeting gets booked right there in the conversation. No back and forth emails. No, let me check my calendar. The person is interested right now, and you're booking them right now. Then, when your sales rep opens the calendar invite, they don't see only a name and an email. They see the full conversation, what the lead asked, what they answered the qualification questions, their score, their company details. So your rep walks into that call already knowing what this person needs, and the prospect feels that. It's a better experience for everyone. And for the leads who don't book right away, the system doesn't just let them go. It triggers follow-up messages, email or WhatsApp, based on what they actually said in the conversation. Not generic, just checking in emails, specific, relevant follow-ups that reference their actual situation. There's a stat I always come back to on this. Responding to a lead within 5 minutes makes you 21 times more likely to qualify them versus responding in 30 minutes. And an AI agent responds instantly. While your competitors are letting leads sit in their inbox overnight, your system has already had the conversation, qualified the lead, and booked the meeting. Section 6. The compounding loop. Okay, so I want to pull all these 3 stages together because these stages fit each other, so they don't operate independently. When your AI agents convert significantly more of your traffic into qualified leads, you can afford to invest more in traffic acquisition. When every lead comes to your sales team already qualified with full context, your close rate goes up. When your close rate goes up, you generate more revenue. When you generate more revenue, you have more budget to invest in traffic. Traffic feeds the AI agent. The AI agent feeds sales. Sales feeds revenue. Revenue feeds traffic. It's a flywheel. And every improvement at one stage amplifies every other stage. That's what I mean by unlimited. Not that you get infinite leads overnight, but that this system scales without a ceiling. There's no point where it maxes out. You just keep turning the wheel. The businesses that are going to win in 2026 aren't the ones with the biggest ad budgets. They are the ones with the smartest systems between the click and the close. Traffic, capture, qualify, convert, reinvest, repeat. That's the system. So now you've got the full system for generating leads with AI agents. But there's one part where most people get stuck, and it's the qualification layer. Getting the conversation flow right, asking the right questions in the right order, that's the difference between leads that convert and leads that waste your team's time. So click this video here because I break down exactly how to build a lead qualification flow from scratch, step by step, and I'll show you the specific frameworks that are getting our clients those amazing conversion rates. I'll see you there.